Welcome back. Now we have this segment we call From Playground to Podium. And the last time we spoke with Maurisa Gibson-Bailey, sports scientist and exercise physiologist, she told us that we need to do more exercises at home with our children in the living rooms now that we are actually at home due to COVID-19. So we have this video which demonstrates some of the exercises that we can do. Take a look.
You see that trust in there? Keep that. You see that curtain there? Keep that. We don't need your fancy stage, brother. Once a training reach in your vet is nice days. Boy, hands in the sky, we bring the vibes. Once we reach in your vet is nice days. Boy, they can't deny we bring the vibes. And I don't mean to be bossy, but they can't party like we. What's so much so goddamn? Togetherness and the love is so strong, oh Lord, Lord. And we don't care. This kind of energy, Lord, it great. Watch how we are up in the air. Yeah. So we go turn up the place, we go push up the
We don't get any ideas there. But we've seen some exercises done by using just simple things
simple things
around
around the home,
by
no gym, no problem.
No problem by the children rolling on the ground and playing with the football.
And the 2 touches with the football and stuff.
And daddy's jumping jacks and skipping and so on. So on the line, Maurisa Gibson-Bailey, sports scientist, exercise physiologist. Good morning, Maurisa.
Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
So, that was the suggestion that you gave us last time when you suggested that persons get involved. And what a brilliant demonstration there.
This was a family that Trinidadians actually living in San Diego, California. That's 7 and 8-year-old Sanan O'Shea Welch and Mr. Karen Williams from Tobago.
Right.
So they took on the challenge and they did their own interpretation of what we said and posted it to us.
And we started talking about physical literacy, and particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. What is working? What is physical literacy? Yes.
Well, according to the International Physical Literacy Association, there is one. 2014, they had a definition that says physical literacy is the motivation, the confidence, physical competence, knowledge and understanding to value and take responsibility for engagement in physical activities for life. Now, that's a mouthful, you know? But physiologically, as physiologists, we look at it from the perspective that physical literacy is basically the development of the competence of fundamental movement skills. So you see me reiterating since last segment about basic stuff like walk, run, jump, and throw. Fundamental sports skills, right? That permit the child or even adult to move confidently in a wide range of physical activity. You know, so that for us, it's more of the basics. It's actually the foundation of sports and sporting ability.
Yeah. And how important is it for the parent to be part of that or to be a nurturer of physical literacy in their children?
Well, Lisa, first of all, I think parents understanding that you are there from birth. The mere fact that development starts at birth, you are there from birth. And I think that is nothing that you should step off of. You should continue. Right? Because there's an inherent, integrated, yet optimal development process that parents should continue to be a part of. It's anatomical, it's neurological, it's hormonal, it's musculoskeletal changes in the structure of your child. You would want to give that opportunity to somebody else to nurture for you. I won't advise that. Hence the reason why I would have indicated in the last segment that parents are supposed to be the key agents in the physical literacy aspect. Now, what COVID-19 has done for us is create an opportunity. If you didn't start before, you could start now. Basic stuff. We would have indicated body management skills, locomotor skills, object control. These are basic skills that you could do either separately or a combination, make it a competition, right? So that you can have this first-hand initial experience of where your child is at from a physical literacy standpoint, because you could be able to be a support to coaches.
Right. Later on, if you decide that your child would be an athlete, for example.
Oh yes. It's also important because you would have started that nurturing process, and you just wouldn't come on board as a parent when that child of yours mount the podium. Then you'll have a different story to tell. You've been there from the get-go. You've seen the changes. You have a greater appreciation for what your child will go through, who is now that athlete, right? And your support, coaches need support. It's like our teachers need support from parents. Coaches need that support because in the setting most coaches are in, it's more group setting. So sometimes they may miss that individualized rate of maturation and growth, which is key in athletic development. You could be able to chip in. You could be able to help from that perspective.
Because you would know your child. You would know what if you work with your child at home, you'd be able to support the coach because you would know what they are capable of doing, even when they're not with their coaches, right?
Exactly.
But what if you don't want your child? Well, what if your child doesn't want to be? Because really, it should be the child's choice. I always believe. What if your child doesn't want to be an athlete? Why is physical literacy still very important?
Okay, physical literacy is important regardless of the fact if you want to be an athlete or not, because there's development of brain function happening, coordination, social skills, gross motor skills and emotions that take place, development of posture and balance. These are things that you do not want to not capitalize on. You build strong bones and muscles, achieve a healthy weight. Might I stick a pin about having proper nutrition?
Yes.
Right? That is really important for that you could capitalize on. Yes, you're doing the physical literacy aspect of being physical, but then there's the nutrition part of it that you have to give them a well-balanced meal so that you could support what you're doing. It reduces stress. Do not feel that children are not stressed. You hear psychologists talk about that. You could reduce that, and then it promotes sleep. I give you a case in point. When I do physical activity or physical literacy exercises here with my son, I guarantee you by time 7 o'clock, he's at sleep.
Yes.
Which gives you, the adults, more personal time, give you even time to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the benefits that are derived from.
Well, I was just going to ask you, how can adults benefit from engaging in these physical activities with their children as well?
Adults can benefit a whole lot. Why? Because remember, you're still human. You still have motor function. And some of us may still have deficiencies from not being able to capitalize this on our growing up.
Yeah.
So you still can do these things to improve on your literacy, physical literacy skills. And, you know, you could be able to start doing things that you never did before. Once you start practicing, remember, consistency with everything is the key. So that's why we spoke last time about that 5 months.
Yes.
5 months is a lot of time for you to have an impact, right? And as we talk about impact, I want parents to know that, remember, with physical literacy, which I believe personally should be the foundation of physical education classes, right, is that it focuses on affective, cognitive, behavioral, and the physical aspect. Those are key areas that you would speak to in different phases of life. It's important that you as a parent have some sort of impact on that before you transfer that to somebody else, don't you think?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
You know?
And then the cycle would continue, wouldn't it?
Of course it will.
Yeah. Well, you know, Maurisa, we're continuing this conversation every Friday from playground to podium. I love it, you know. And I think as we continue to chat, we're going to get even more interactive and have some more videos to share with the public.
Oh, yes. So we're asking the public, you know, whatever you think by listening, what we're saying, by what we're saying is that if you could upload even the physical education students out there.
Yeah.
We've said it before about the different skills. Be creative. do videos, maybe upload it. We maybe find somewhere for you to upload it on and have information or see what you can do. Remember, these are budding sport professionals coming out.
Yes.
So use this information, practice it, and make it a part of your studies.
All right. As you said, budding sport professionals, let's jump off there because maybe next week we can look at what are some of the careers that persons can be thinking about in the area of physical education and beyond just being an athlete, which is what you see at the front of it. But there's so many other, for example, like you, sports scientists, exercise physiologists, extraordinaire. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maurisa. We're going to have to leave it there right now. And that was Maurisa. Bye. That was Maurisa Gibson-Bailey. Always a pleasure chatting with her, Carrie, because you know she is
wonderful information there
and so highly qualified. You know,
of course,
trained in Cuba and trained in the Olympic training site in Tennessee, and highly qualified and so well articulated on the morning show here. We're going to kick it upstairs where Ria is waiting on standby with the news to 7 o'clock, and then we come back on the flip side of that. So stay with us.